advocacy in the day-to-day, a lot of you in this room have done this. And whether you've done it for tennis or not, you've done it for other things. Your PTO, for your children. You've done it in your community. You might have done it politically. You might be for something, you might be against something. But if you feel strongly about something and you've taken some action, marched or written a letter to an elected official, that's all advocacy. The interesting thing is some people in this space didn't necessarily know what that translated to for tennis. Well, your players, your CTA leaders, you're clearly passionate about the sport, but our folks in Charleston, our teammates in Charleston are passionate about it because they run one of the top 5 leagues in the country. Dean, what are you, 4 now? 3? You're 5? 5? What I'm gonna say, one of the top 5 leagues in the country, adult leagues in the country, and they're out of places to play. So their challenge is different than our challenge in Richland County. We got plenty of places to play. They're just in terrible condition. So, which is why we're at Casey, which is in Lexington County. So if we don't do the work, if we as taxpayers, as voters, and that matters, because where you live is where you need to invest your work. Where you vote is where you need to invest your work. If you don't live where you're registered to vote, then figure out where you need to do the work and go there and do it. Because if your voters and your constituents, that's who your elected officials are going to listen to. They're not going to listen to us, but we can help you. We will help you, and we can join your work group, we can join your committee, and we want to talk a little bit today about what we've got in place for everybody. If you haven't used our tools, if you haven't used the information we've provided, I'm going to show you where it is. The emphasis for tennis advocacy, along with the quality courts, is an emphasis on the public. You'll hear a lot of discussion about public. We're not against clubs, but they don't usually need our help. We provide help to clubs in a lot of other ways. What we primarily focus on is attention on the public courts, the public access to courts, because the more we do, the more people are going to play. But because we do that does not mean we're not. We are absolutely, we need our club partners and our private club partners, absolutely. Our focus is primarily, and you'll hear that today, is on the public facilities. If you don't want to do it because it's the right thing to do it because it's enlightened self-interest. You've got deteriorating courts that are bringing down your property values, right next door to the homes that you own. Well, why not go get them fixed up? If you don't want to do it for a greater good, do it because it'll make your house worth more. So find a reason, but we need you to be vocal. The other thing, it's an economic engine in local communities because we're not going to talk a lot about St. George today, but the work that St. George has done with the courts that they have done, with what they started with years ago, when Miss Barbara Jones got started down there, that concrete building was basically a bathroom.
That was it.
Right next to Section 8 housing.
And a closet.
And now they've got this beautiful facility. How many courts you got?
Well, we have 378 for courts and 436 for
7 courts. 7 courts, a community that loves them, and continued partnership with state and local officials, schools, and everybody. So Barbara, Jerry Odom, people like Nan Smith, Linda Page, people have been doing this work for years. We're just more organized now than we have been. So pay attention and ask your questions. When we started our advocacy efforts deliberately 3 years ago in our office, Emily and I decided to partner together to integrate our efforts to focus on May, which is National Tennis Month, as everyone knows. We also decided we were going to focus on 1 week where we went completely crazy and pushed tennis like there was no tomorrow. We called it Advocacy Week. It was in 2021. We also were being opportunistic in that National was doing a great job promoting National Tennis Month, so we decided we wanted to ride that way. Well, it worked. So anyway, that's when we started our efforts 3 years ago. The bit of advice I'll tell you if you don't know where to start, and interestingly enough, these are Arthur Ashe's words, start where you are and use what you have and do what you can. And that's the truth, because as we looked at what our assets were, well, we're USTA South Carolina, first of all. That's our biggest asset. We had facilities funds, which is another huge asset. And when I looked at sort of what I brought to the table, I had previously done some work at the State House as a board member and as an ED for a nonprofit. So I was pretty familiar with the way the State House worked and how we might tap into what they do there. I had held an advocacy day at the State House regarding women's health, and I had talked to the Lieutenant Governor at the same time because that's where the Office of Aging happened to be. And so I thought we might have some similar luck with tennis. I mean, tennis, you know, this is fun. We have good giveaway stuff. I mean, so, and most of my career has been spent in public relations. So it was a no-brainer to make sure that we integrated our advocacy efforts with our public relations efforts. And when I tell you to try to integrate your advocacy and PR efforts, I'm not kidding, because you can go, most of what we do on the advocacy side is in the background. It's in the shadows. It's behind the scenes to try to make something happen, and it doesn't always happen. At some point, you've got to tell people what you're doing, and that's where your public relations efforts are going to come in. If you don't pat yourself on the back, if you don't beat your chest and say we did this, we hold these elected officials accountable, you give people cover not to act, because they can tell you they're going to do something, but unless they're held accountable and you've made it public, so you've held them accountable, they may not. And so keep that in mind when you look for an opportunity to get more active in your community. But suffice to say, we were ahead at the State House, and 3 years on, we continue to be noticed when we show up there. This year, we had the crowd. Oh yeah, we hear people say all day long, "Hey, the tennis people are back. The tennis people are here again." Yeah, the tennis people are like, "Yes, yes, they know us. They know who we are." It doesn't mean they all stop by our table. We had a lot of people stop by our table. They love our swag. They liked us. I mean, we're easy. It's tennis. We're not curing cancer here, but they were glad to see us. Even so, we had a few legislators who stopped by and they just top of the hand. They didn't want anything to do with us, and they weren't coming by. And so I kind of stalked a few of them, and I think they got tired of me. And we don't have any tennis courts in whatever the city was. It was some small town in the upstate. We don't have any tennis courts. I'm thinking, well, what do y'all do?
Yeah,
We got cows. We got cows.
They drive your dreams on play.
Exactly. But I said, all right, so how about this? I said, if you don't want any of our money, and you don't want any of our programs, I said, when you get to your local meetings or you're here at the State House and something comes up about, if something comes up about tennis or a piece of land that's up for grabs or something, do this. Just don't vote against us. She said, that's what we can do. So sometimes you've got to listen to what people are telling you and respond to what you're going to get back from them, because there's no cookie cutter approach to this. You have to listen. You have to figure out where the obstacles are, where the pitfalls are, figure out how you're going to work around them, and you're going to hear from the folks this afternoon. They're going to tell you there've been plenty. This could take years. I mean, some of it's easy and quick, and some of it isn't. So if you're a person who is 100% into instant gratification, this may not be the type of work for you, but because you've got to be patient in some senses. But it is, boy, when it works, it is super cool. We have put in place for you a toolkit of remarks, talking points, op-eds. Everybody know what an op-ed is?
No.
It's an opinion piece. It is an opinion piece, usually longer than a letter to the editor, that a local paper may run because you've got an opinion about something. Small papers are perfect vehicles to get this done. And there are still actual papers out there. We've got samples for you to take, copy, plagiarize the hell out of everything we're putting out there, put your name on it, send it in, and fill in the blank to what's local to you. Wayne does this all over. He does his own thing. He doesn't necessarily use our stuff. Wayne is great at this, Laura, down in the low country. We have refined these documents over the last 3 years and shared them with other states, with Southern, with National. They work, but you have to use them in your town where you live and where you pay taxes. We continue to update our information. We've got a robust advocacy page on our website at sctennis.com/advocacy/. Everything's there. It is a do-it-yourself set of tools and documents that can make it easy for you. As I said earlier, we're recording this afternoon. Emily and I are going to edit down this information that you hear throughout the afternoon and put together another tool that you can use with your boards, with other people that are interested in learning a little bit more about how to do this. Where we have been the most successful in situations where it involved a lot of partners, where we have been the most successful are in places where we have had passionate volunteers who also love tennis. That is the key. That is a key. But it doesn't mean that if you don't have that in your community, you can't participate. I will tell you, and give you an example of somebody in our office who doesn't do this for a living, but she took it on herself to do what we asked her to do during Advocacy Week. But this is Katrina. This is about Katrina back here. Katrina is our Senior Director of Operations and Administration. So she runs the office. And day to day, you probably don't deal with Katrina, but she's the one that keeps you going. She had never done anything like this before, and she can speak for herself, but I will tell you what she did. She'd never done anything like this before, but she set aside a time, and we said, we need everybody's participation. And we had other staff members who did too, but this is just not usually in her wheelhouse. She set aside some time, she got all the tools ready, she got her letters ready, and she emailed every single person who was in her district and asked them something. And every single one of them responded. One of them led to, Pamela's got a relationship with one of them now, and they're doing programs. She solidified the Richland County proclamation for us. I couldn't convince her to go get in the picture for it, but that was Katrina. And so everybody can do something. And trust me when I tell you, Richland County ain't easy. Do you want to say anything?
I just wanted to say that the process was really easy. Cheryl and Emily gave all the tools that you needed. I literally copy and paste, and I did it down the line, and I just went person to person, and it was so easy, and I was shocked when I got responses and a phone call. I was like, whoo, so I just felt like I was contributing, to the goal and to the team. So very easy to do, very easy.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. There are many people in this room who are out there getting it done every single day, usually anonymously, but thank you for all you're doing. Keep doing it. Keep letting us know if we can provide more information or more tools to help you do what you got to do. I'm going to turn it over to Emily.
I did want to revisit what she said about the integrated approach between advocacy and public relations and marketing, because that piece is really crucial. I think that you can do the work, but if you're not promoting the work, and this is for advocacy, this is also for events, this is for programs that you're running, the whole part of it is getting your message out and sharing it. One thing that I did that worked really well this year was a concerted effort to try to get on local media outlets. We send press releases out to media, but what was funny to me is this year I think the biggest win was when I saw a tweet from a media station that they were looking, and they said, does anybody want to join us for coffee this morning? And I responded to it from the USTA South Carolina Twitter account, and I said, pick us, we want to show you tennis. They couldn't have us on their show because of logistics, but she sent me a message and said, here's the contact for the anchor who would love to have you on your show. So I got in contact with that anchor, and we were on the morning show. Fanny Simmons and Maury Sykes, which were on the show. We had tennis nets set up, we had rackets. We were able to promote the health benefits of tennis, events in the area, events statewide, what we're doing in front of a large audience on WIS TV Columbia.
Our efforts are year-long. Our focus on May got us started a few years back because it seemed the best place to get started. But our advocacy efforts, the public relations efforts, along with the advocacy efforts, are a year-long thing. Most of what I do day to day, nobody sees. I mean, it's just hey, we could use some stuff here. Let me go see who I know. Let me see who I can call. Let me see who I can connect with. And so that's sort of how all that works. This stuff happens year-round, and that just, we ride the wave of that national publicity. That's why May's important to us. That, and then the National and Southern started the National Tennis Month grants last year, which was good. So we got some money out of it. In South Carolina, y'all took good advantage of that as well. So, what else?
If you are interested in reaching out to a local representative and you're not sure how to go about that, contact Cheryl. She may already very well have a relationship with them to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Same with media. If you'd like to reach out to your local media, but you don't know what to say, you don't know what a media release is or how to do it or even how to get that started, reach out to me and we'd be happy to help.
I think that if you need help, like she said, introducing getting you to know who your rep is or finding that person, or you would feel more comfortable making an appointment with them on the day that we're there, not necessarily being in our space, but coming by, saying hi, and then possibly make an appointment. We're there to help make it a little easier and more open.
Go upstairs where they're in session. When they break for session, they have a rope line. That's where advocates stand, not lobbyists. You're not, there's a distinction there. Lobbyists are registered and they have rules. Advocates can walk right up to that line and don't cross it, but that's why we're advocates. So you can stand at that rope line all day long and meet your representatives, tell them what you're there for, hand them a business card, hand them some swag, and then go on about your day. Oh, we have an expert in the back. That's right.
I'm
Shirley's
not an
here.
expert by any means, but I was just
This is Shirley. Introduce yourself, Shirley.
Hi, I'm Shirley Mills. I live in Columbia. I was just going to add that in addition to standing at that rope, there's a receptionist desk on the Senate side and on the House side, and you can send a message in to your representative saying, I am here in the lobby. If you get a moment, please come out and say hello, or you can type your whole message there telling them why you are there and advocating for tennis and so forth. So because sometimes when they come out you don't get to catch them, and then there are a lot of people competing for their time. So if you really want your message and you really want them to know that you're there, I would say send in a note. Okay?
Shirley, that's awesome. Well, one more question. They can do that anytime.
Anytime.
Advocacy is more than just, it's all of it. It's any way that you can expose people to the sport, to what you do, to what you're passionate about, and get them introduced to a sport, whether they play or not, welcome them back, new players, and the way to use tennis as a vehicle to do good, to raise money for other organizations that a larger group of people, non-tennis players, are interested in.